not common. He'll probably live 20 to 30 years here, just based on the fact he seems a little high-strung overall. In the wild, he would probably live 10 to 15 years. He is well adapted to be here year-round. You can see his feathers all the way down to the tips of his toes. Minus 40 degrees is not a problem. In fact, I have a picture on my phone that he actually has ice on his eyelashes. It's that cold out. It's probably like 5 degrees when I'm working with him. So he's well adapted to be here. You want to know how many feathers he has? If I push in, I can get all the way up to there. So they've counted on a long-eared owl over 10,000 feathers on his body. As you know from the slideshow, remember the ears are not the tufts, right? You saw me kind of messing with them before like this. The ear tufts are for communication. And I was waiting for him to do that because I know he wanted to. Sometimes he gets so stressed like he won't even pant. He's kind of holding his body heat in. Remember, they're adapted to be outside. We don't keep our birds in the fall. Some bird people do that so they don't grow their winter feathers. So that, like if we do a program when it's 5 degrees outside and it's 70 in here, he gets really hot in a hurry. If we would have kept him in the fall and he wouldn't have grown any extra feathers, it would be a lot easier. But we want our birds to be in a natural setting. So the ear tufts, we want to see them to be about like they are right now. If they're flat against his head, like let's say they're like this, then I know he's kind of scared when they're flat against his head. When they're straight up, that means he's usually alarmed. When they're about right here and they stay, that means he's doing okay. He's doing okay, but he's really hot. It takes a lot of energy for him to fly. His broken wing is right here. He flies, but not very well. His pupils adjust totally independently. So especially if he looks over there, I bet you his left eye pupil is bigger than his right now. He can blink totally separately. Like the eyes, the left eye will blink and then the right eye. So he doesn't need to blink at the same time. In people, if your pupils adjust, by the way, if your pupils adjust independently, you have brain damage. In people, your pupils are always exactly equally reactive. By the way, when I do this, this is called allopreening. In the wild, the owls would do that to each other. And for him, I think for him, he has a vision problem, I'm pretty sure. He seems to know it's me when I do that, and he seems to be calmer when I do it. So it seems to help him, which is why I like to do it a lot. Isn't that funny? He also has a special, just like a beaver, they have an eyelid that goes across their eye called the nictitating membrane. And that basically, he can still see through it when his nictitating membrane is going across his eye. But it helps him keep stuff out of his eye, different debris, and whatever. When he's going through the woods, he doesn't damage his eyeball when that membrane is working. If he were to hoot, he would go something like this. He's only hooted to me once, and I think he was mad at me.
Do you know how he broke his wing?
We think he was hit by a car. Both of our birds, we believe, were hit by cars, actually. Over 60% of birds that are at rehab centers, I've heard, were hit by cars. Some other kind of, I guess, features that he often shows, if he stares at me a lot, that usually means he's scared. So if he's looking around the audience, that's a good sign. I know.
Any of you think of why owls are more likely to be hit by a car than other birds?
Yeah.
They hunt at night and people aren't able to see as well when they're driving at night.
Okay, that's part of it. What else? Think of their vision. In the field of view that he was just talking about. Yeah, they don't have hardly any peripheral vision, so when they're focused on something, they're going after it. If the car comes from the side, they never see it coming.
They are very focused on food. In fact, lots of times they use that to catch birds in traps. I've seen a great gray owl caught. The guy had a mouse in his pocket, and he knew the owl was there. It was a bird disrupting means that they don't normally migrate, but sometimes they move in food shortage years. And he took a mouse out of his pocket, put it on the ground, and less than 10 seconds later, this bird came out of the tree, flew at the mouse, and he actually caught it with a musky net. And by the time I got over there, which is like 1 minute later, he'd already had the bird in a football hold, and he's ready to band it. So they are very focused on food. That's very true. We do have to have their talons and their beaks trimmed. They don't like that. They have to be basically somebody has to come around them with a blanket and grab their wings. And then they kind of have them against their body, and they use a Dremel tool and shape their beak. And these are nail clippers and trim their feet. In the wild, it would happen more naturally. Obviously, they don't have a dentist, so to speak. But these birds do have to have that done. You obviously need a permit to do this. You know, you guys just can't catch a great horned owl or a red-tailed hawk and raise it on your own. We have federal and state permits to have these birds. We have veterinary notes stating that these birds are non-releasable. There are injuries. With this wing, he would not be able to hunt efficiently. And believe me, I agree. He flies extremely poorly. He doesn't land well. And I do believe there's some other mental issue, whether it's sight or he seems to struggle with stuff. You can see it takes a lot of effort for him to get up. I know. We usually don't stay up this long.
How often does he have to have his beak trimmed?
Not very often. Probably about 4 times a year, maybe at the most 3 or 4 times a year. Any last questions for him before I put him away? He obviously struggles with a lot of things, but he's doing okay. I take good care of him, trust me. I spend a lot of time with him. I probably spent, I don't know, 800 to 1,000 hours with him already. But you can tell, this is, there's such small things that you guys can't even see that, you know, indicate he's doing better than when we first got him. Yeah, I have pictures on my Flickr website. You can actually see his beak. It's totally messed up right here. Right? It's pretty amazing a bird lets you let the